now I'm going to do, I have, thank God, a few sisters who once in a while watch my show. And then my conscience, my sister reminded me last week, you got to wash your hands, my younger sister. You got to wash your hands after you touch the money.
Good idea.
What's your name, sweetheart?
You touch money. This is Mushka, my granddaughter, Mushka Levin.
Rabbi, is your sister on?
I don't know if she's on now. Well, my older sister's on.
Oh, Chaya. There you go.
Thank you.
We're going to peel 5 potatoes. While she's peeling the potatoes, now I'm doing the classic first. The classic is my own recipe, not my own. It's the recipe that I usually do. And it comes from the book called Spice and Spirit of Kosher Cooking. It's probably the best, in my opinion, the best latke recipe out there. And one thing I want to tell you about latkes. Latkes are very simple to make. I didn't say easy. They're very messy, and it's a lot of work. But it's not really a lot of work. It's actually quite simple. So we're going to start. While she's doing that, I'm going to cut the onion up. I'm going to cut the onion up to cubes because we're gonna put it in the blender. So I don't really need to cut it small. Just gonna take off the outer layer, make sure there are no bugs. And we're going to, Mushka's done a great job there. Keep peeling the potatoes. We're gonna cut off that black part when you're done. Okay, so I'm taking
Whose daughter is Mushka?
What was that?
Whose daughter is Mushka?
Is Rabbi Zalman's daughter. She lives here in Palo Alto. Her parents. Oh, hi. Hi, Devar. Devar is her mother. She's on too. And she and Rabbi Zalman and Devar run the Chabad house here with me together. So it's really nice.
Very nice.
And okay, I'm cutting this up into a few pieces. And we'll deal with that soon. Okay, Mushka, let me help you give you a hand with the potatoes.
Chaya, where do you live?
In Morristown, New Jersey.
Oh, well, not so far. I mean, far, but I know he has a sister in South America, right?
Yeah, that's the youngest.
Oh.
She's our youngest sister.
Oh.
Yeah. She was
Rabbi,
on last.
do you ever use the potatoes and leave the skin on?
No, not for. I have never done that for latkes. I do that sometimes. What I do is sometimes when I don't want to bother making latkes, I take whole potatoes, little baby potatoes, and I put spices and oil, and I put them in the oven and roast them, and I call them latkes in the skin. One day I'll show that, Lynette, I'll show that recipe. Very easy recipe and delicious potatoes. Everybody loves them.
Because the skin is supposed to be nutritious, I thought.
Yeah, it is.
There are some people who use the skin, but that's not the classic original way, is the unhealthy, fattening, delicious way.
That's cute.
All right, the potatoes are just about done. We're going to rinse the potatoes. By the way, tonight I don't have any interview guests. So what we said is open mic. If anybody would like to ask me any questions you've ever wanted to ask about Hanukkah or about anything for that matter, while we're working, I'm happy to, I can't promise to answer the questions. I can promise to listen to them and try and answer.
All right,
Let me just go
Mushka.
potatoes. Hang on.
Oh, come on. Mushka, how old are you?
I'm 9.
9? Oh, wow. And that means oh, that's right. You're doing homeschool, right? Or are you? Homeschool? Oops.
Lost. Also accomplished cook. She knows how to cook. She knows how to
Yeah, I know. I've seen some of the things she's made. Very nice. Where did you learn how to cook, Mushka?
My mother.
Of course. Isn't that always the case?
Okay, now that I've cut the potatoes up, I'm going to shred them. Now, the recipe calls grating the potatoes, but I'm not going to grate them. I'm going to shred them. I prefer them shredded, and I use the smallest shredding piece on the. Let's see if I know how to use this. I'm not sure if I know how to use it. I mean, I know how to use it, but I think I have to play with it a couple times till I get it right. I think that's it. Okay. Put this on. And this. Put this on first in here. There we go. Okay. Cover on, yes. And this goes, how does this go?
It's just the way our grandparents did it, right?
Right, exactly. No, so that didn't work because it's not on properly. So it's not on properly. And I have to, what? Oh, I got it backwards. I think I need help. One second. Hang on. So this goes here. This goes. I think I would have it done before, right? Still not. You know? Some help. Ask Rabbi if you can help me. She's in the room, I think, over there. Is it this way or this way?
I think
Better to take out the blade and do it separately and get it situated and then put everything in.
Hi, Dana.
The other way. That's what I thought, but it wasn't working.
Why is the yellow piece crooked?
There we go.
This. What happened? It works every week.
he broke it.
Not broken.
No, I know.
Why don't you use the
Okay,
smoothie blender?
that's the number. You want to blend it. Okay, it's working. Thank you. Okay, can you see the machine?
Yep.
Okay.
He peeled them?
What?
He peeled them?
Yeah.
He peeled the potatoes and he peeled and cut up the just chunks of onion, and he's going to blend it up.
Put in there. And I made a mistake. The onion goes in later. The potatoes go in. Here we go.
He's not going to blend it. He's shredding it, actually. Easier.
Okay, now what I want to do, now, remember how it goes? Okay. Now what I want to do is drain them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to put them, this is a very, very fine strainer.
Oh, that's nice.
Put them in a strainer. Okay, now I'm going to do the onion. The onion I'm going to do differently. Onion I do.
How long have you been making latkes, Rabbi?
Probably 30 years, 40 years, I don't know.
Those are some old latkes.
You know the story, don't you, about a woman who came to the doctor, Jewish woman, old Jewish woman, she comes to the non-Jewish doctor. She says to him, I have a terrible stomach ache. He says, how long have you had a stomach ache? She said, since Tisha B'Av. He says, what is Tisha B'Av? She says, the day the temple was destroyed. He says, in that case, I can't cure you, I'm sorry. If you've had it that long, there's nothing I can do. Okay, let's see, is this way? This way. How much goes this way or the other way?
No, it's the other way.
Other way.
Yeah, lock it down. Hey. No. Yep.
There we go.
Oh, you're really making mush out of it.
So you're just chopping the onions or grating them very fine?
Grating the onions very fine. I'm putting them in the blender and blending them.
Good.
So that way the onion is blended and the potato is a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So now, put this in here. Onions will go in here.
You ever use a towel to drain it? To squeeze out the water?
What, the onion?
No, the potatoes.
No, I don't bother with towels. Too much mess. Okay, now I'm going to squeeze the potato. Potatoes are actually pretty dry anyway. Potatoes are actually pretty dry. Okay, we put this in here. Next, what's the next ingredients? My assistant is going to give me the next ingredients.
Then there's 4 eggs.
4 eggs. 4 eggs. We're going to crack the eggs one by one I have right here. And 1. We have 2.
Mushka, you know how to crack eggs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen you.
The next one, I'll have her do the eggs while I'm doing the other stuff. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
She knows how to crack them and how to check them. Okay. And 4. What's next after that?
Then comes 1 out of 4 cups matzo meal or flour.
Quarter cup matzah. Do you want to measure a quarter cup of matzah? Yeah. Of flour?
It's this?
Yeah. See if you can find a quarter cup here. Is that a quarter?
This is no. 1 out of 3.
It's a third. So you want a quarter. This one maybe is a quarter. That's
1 out of 3. Maybe this is a quarter.
That's a quarter. Okay. So measure a quarter of a cup. Now, show the, I'm going to put on the fire. Get the oil started. Put lots of oil in the pan. Okay.
There. So I put it
Okay,
in here.
dump it in here. Okay, what else is next?
Next is salt and pepper to taste, oil for frying. Pinch of baking powder optional.
Yes, let's get the baking powder.
How is that?
So we're going to put in a little bit of baking powder.
Oh.
Okay. A little bit of salt. Where's my salt? Pepper. A little bit of pepper. So we'll put in, let's see, so much pepper, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of salt. And there's my salt. So we're going to use this salt. We'll use this salt here. I'm using a tablespoon of salt. That's okay. Now, we're going to mix it.
So what do you like to eat your latkes with?
For me?
Buddy.
I don't remember. Mushka, what do you like to eat latkes with?
Plain.
Plain. Mm.
When I came to America, I learned about applesauce. I never knew about applesauce till I came.
Applesauce. I like applesauce.
Okay, guys.
Very nice. Wow.
The old-fashioned way.
You missed an egg.
Thank you. No wonder it wasn't going right. Okay, now we're going to go to the pan. This looks really good. We can eat it just like it is. Okay. So while we're doing this, I want to ask you, please, to prepare for the next one. We're going to do the next batch. This is going to be the Mexican latkes. 3 cups of potatoes. How many? Who can tell me? Shredded potatoes, 3 cups. How many potatoes do you think that is? Anyone?
It depends on the size of the potato.
Okay, approximately what? 2, 3 potatoes, you think?
2 potatoes a cup?
We should peel 4 just to be
Okay, let's peel 4 and then we'll see. You go ahead and peel that. And meanwhile, if you can show the pan, we're going to put the latkes in the pan. Wash my hand.
Oh.
Those are big latkes.
Yeah, yeah.
Making big latkes, yes. I'm making very big latkes.
I make the mini latkes.
You know,
And I always put aluminum foil all around so that everything doesn't get splattered. It's easier cleanup afterwards.
I have to tell you a secret. The
You
Chabad
don't splatter?
the Chabad janitor is showing up tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock to clean up.
Oh, that's even better.
By the way, I don't usually do that, but making latkes, we decided to do that.
Those are big latkes.
Yeah, they are, but it's more efficient that way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's big.
Okay, those will cook, and then we'll do the next batch. Okay, let's get started on the next one.
This tastes so good.
Someone asked, how was my week?
How was your week?
Okay, I'm going to pass the question on to everybody out there. How was your week? Share with me. How was your week while we're peeling these potatoes? Anyone?
Let's see. It's only Tuesday.
No? So
Not
far.
Not much of a week yet.
How was the past 7 days? How was the Shabbos?
Shabbos is always nice.
So, you know, this year, a lot of people celebrate Thanksgiving. And it's kind of, people are getting very antsy. I know a lot of people are traveling, but I don't know. What are you guys doing? You traveling? You staying home?
Well, what's nice is I have a little bubble here with a neighbor, and that's what we do.
Okay, so let's talk about Hanukkah's coming up. What do you think? Who can tell me something while we're making these latkes? Tell me something interesting about Hanukkah. Maybe an interesting Hanukkah memory or something like that? We're going to prepare to grate these potatoes. What?
That was the worst shape
The
ever.
worst shape ever. Wow. Up here, so we have the cups. And what did he say? How many cups did they say for the next one? Okay, we can close this book and get rid of it. Let's get rid of this. Keep this over there, please. And here's the next one.
Which ones are you making now?
Now I'm making the Mexican.
So maybe you should put the water on for the peas while you're doing the potatoes.
Peas.
Wow.
It said to...
No, the peas just have to be defrosted. Right? What?
No,
is
it
not
says
on
to
this.
drop them in boiling water.
Which ones? That's on the next one.
Is it?
Oh, wait. There's two times. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this.
Isn't the Mexican one with peas and corn?
It has corn. Does it have peas? No, peas is in the samosa latkes has peas.
Yeah, samosa.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
You can still put the water on.
Listen to your sister.
No, it'll boil while you don't want to have
Where
to
does
wait
it say
for it.
drop them in? Where does it say drop them in boiling water?
I don't know. I looked at your method the other day.
Fill out the baking sheet now. Mix potatoes, onions, and peas. Transfer baking sheet. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say
They're
that.
going to cook anyway.
All right, so then don't do it. I thought it said it in the instructions that you
Start with
posted
this.
before.
I'm actually going to start with the mimosa one because they have to go into the oven. So let's start with the 3 baking potatoes. Here we go. Peeled and shredded. So let's use here. Okay. All right. We're going to use these 3 potatoes. Okay, what I've done is I have turned on the oven. We're going to use these 3 potatoes. I'm doing the mimosa potatoes, the samosa, whatever they're called.
Samosa.
Okay. So let's go. Let's do this. Okay, I need some more potatoes cooked, peeled for the next one. Okay, so let's do another 3 potatoes for the next one. Okay, let's go. So anyway, so this past week has been very interesting since they started the new rules. They started the purple. So I just need this one to close. I think I need to. 1 second. Let's check. Okay, let me get this off. It's on. Okay, now this recipe was from, what was this recipe from? Rabbi. She was a famous Jewish chef, author of 2 books. What?
Who are you talking about?
Jamie Geller is the author of the book where this recipe is coming from. It's amazing. Okay, that's 3 potatoes. 1 medium onion, medium diced, she says. Okay, preheat oven, lightly coat the non-stick saute pan with non-stick cooking spray, lightly coat the baking sheet. We'll get to that. So right now, we mix it in a medium bowl. Let's first start with, here's a bowl. Put this in the bowl. Now, I'm assuming that if she's saying, to medium, the onion medium diced, that means probably diced by hand. So I'm going to try that.
Were you supposed to measure 3 cups of potatoes?
I changed the recipe. I decided to do the samosa first.
Okay.
The samosa, 3 baking potatoes, 1 medium onion, medium diced. So I'm going to dice it. Here we go. Dice it by hand.
That was.
We have good knives.
We have good knives. What?
You have good knives.
Yes, I keep them sharp also. I learned that from my father. He taught me that a non-sharp knife is more dangerous than a sharp knife.
True.
Okay. So what do we need next for this one? We need 10 ounces of frozen peas. Can you measure 10 ounces of peas? 10 ounces. 10 ounces is 1 cup and a quarter cup.
Okay. Where's
The peas, there's a bag of peas right there.
Maybe she should read and see how much there is in it. Maybe it's a 10 ounce. How many ounces in the bag?
I checked that when I bought it. It's 16 ounces.
Oh, pity.
I wouldn't have put it through that.
Okay, who's older, brother or sister?
Guess.
She's older. She's telling him what to do.
That's right.
Oh.
No, when you buy, we used to be able to buy things in the boxes. The bird's eye boxes were usually 10 ounces.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do lightly coat the non-stick saute pan with non-stick cooking spray. So we're going to do that. Let me want to show here. I'm going to turn the latkes over. The first latkes, we're going to turn them over.
They don't sell the bird's eye peas in boxes anymore.
Right.
Everything is in bags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they went, you're right. I haven't seen boxes.
I also used to get the spinach in the box.
Yeah, spinach in the box. That's right.
They used to make the broccoli with the long stems in the boxes. They don't have that. I prefer the stems to the florets.
Yeah. Now they just chop everything.
I think they stopped it because the wax used to get into the vegetables.
Oh, okay.
It in the stores.
Oh.
Rabbi Levin.
Yes.
Many years ago, somebody gave me a hint when frying, like latkes or fried fish. Sometimes when the oil is on for a while, it starts to foam, and sometimes things get an oily taste. So they suggested to put some pieces of raw onion into the pan to fry together with the potatoes. So it stops the oil from foaming. It also gives an extra kick to the. I don't know if you want to do it. I'm just telling you. Somebody told it to me as a hint.
That's interesting.
Mushka, wash your hands with cold water. It's the onions that are making you cry.
No.
Okay, we're supposed to spray the pan and the cooking sheet with oil, non-stick oil. So we'll do that right now.
If you put a candle by you when you're cutting onions, it stops the crying.
Really?
Yup.
I thought you had to stick your tongue out.
Okay. Now, mix.
Wash it in cold water.
Instead of matzo meal, we're going to use a quarter. Did you put the quarter cup of flour in there already? You did, right?
No. In here?
Yeah.
No.
Did you put flour? You didn't? Okay, measure a quarter cup of flour. I'm using flour. Okay, 2 eggs beaten. So 2 eggs beaten. Now, because there's hardly ever any blood in the eggs, I'm going to take a chance and put both eggs in together. If there's blood, I'll have to throw them back out. So I don't expect there to be blood in them. So here we go. 1 and 2. I'm going to get a fork and beat the eggs. What do we add in? Potato, onion, cheese, matzo meal, eggs. Oh, we need curry powder. I forgot about the curry powder. So guys, while I go and get the curry powder, Mushka, maybe you want to say something about Hanukkah. Do you have something to say about Hanukkah?
Yeah.
I started learning about Hanukkah.
You didn't? Do you remember about Hanukkah from before? What happened on Hanukkah? Tell everyone what happened on Hanukkah.
On Hanukkah, the Maccabees bet the Greeks, and the Greeks left Eretz Israel.
Well, what did the Greeks do?
They came to Israel, took over. They went into the Beis Hamikdash. Zara sacrificed pigs on the altars and all that stuff.
They did?
Yeah, and they didn't allow anyone to learn Torah or do mitzvahs.
That's, you know what? My rabbi never told me that. What did they do with the oil?
The oil, they smelled all the stuff of oil, all the jugs of oil, and took off the Kohen Gadol's stamps or signature. I'm not sure.
Oops, you just froze.
Did he freeze?
Oops.
Are we still frozen?
No, I didn't see you freeze.
This is frozen. Okay, we have the bowl full of stuff. Now, mix it all together. Okay, we're going to take these off the fire and put the next batch on. I'm putting them on. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay. What is it?
So you slow cook your latkes. You don't crisp them up.
Actually, they're crisp on the bottom. I just didn't leave them on long enough on the top, but they're okay. If you look at the see that?
There it is.
They're fine. It's just I didn't leave them on at the beginning the first time long enough. I'm going to put the rest of them in. Just a minute. Oh, one second. Try not to put, you're not going to spritz. It's going to spritz. So use a water spoon. Just a second. Use this. Okay, go ahead.
This much?
You can do it. Yeah, that's fine.
Rabbi Levin, the pot handle.
Yes, thank you. Drip a little bit. Let it drip. Okay, now put it next to it. Okay.
Mishka. Very nice.
Drip, let it drip. Let it drip. So now right here.
Can't really see.
Right here. Let it drip. And we're going to put that right over there.
Those latkes are a whole meal in itself.
Okay, and the last one, I'm going to do here. Okay. Okay, good. Now, we go back to this one. Now we're going to stir this.
Whoops.
And we'll do it the old-fashioned way.
What is the green? What is green?
Peas.
Oh, peas. I did not look at the recipe. Thank you.
Okay, now we are going to brown the latkes shape. 1/4 cup size servings of batter into latkes. Brown the latkes for 45 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes on each side, and put them in a baking sheet and finish cooking after. So let's put them in this other pan. We're going to turn on the other pan. And we're going to do some of these latkes. I'm not going to do them all now because we're going to get into the next group. What's the US? Roll, please. Let's see if this is anyone in ready yet. No. And now we're going to. Can you see that one in the back? Okay.
You know how to test the oil for the correct.
It's not oil. She said just to use nonstick non-stick spread, which is kind of weird.
That's more a diet recipe.
You think you doing latkes is all about oil, right?
Yeah.
I even put oil in my latke mix.
But you know what? It's not Hanukkah yet, so we can get away with less oil. Okay.
So
I don't know.
These are called what? These are called samosas?
These are interesting. They look different. I don't know.
Are they sticking?
We'll see.
It looks like one latke.
No, they're separate. So she wants me to brown them for about 5 minutes on each side. So we'll do that. And meanwhile, we'll turn the other latkes over. And now, did you peel a few more? Okay, you peeled a few more already. Okay, now I'm going to turn these other latkes over.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, these look really good. And we're going to put a little more paper here, and they'll be ready in a few minutes. Meanwhile, we're browning the other latkes. Okay. Okay, now we're going to get started on the Mexican latkes. So the Mexican latkes, here we go. These we just have to transfer to the baking sheet in a few minutes and finish the cooking in 350 degrees. Okay, this is the Mexican latkes. 3 cups of potatoes peeled and shredded. Can you rinse these, please?
Sure.
Rinse 3 of them. Let's bring this closer. Now we're gonna make sure that this is in the right place. Thank you. This will be in the right place. Mushka, thank you for your help. You're doing great. Without Mushka, this would have been difficult to do all 3. I'm very excited to come and work with me. I've been doing this for many years. It's nice to have a grandchild doing it with me. Okay, you rinsed that very well. I have a cup. Good. We can measure this 3 cups.
So in case anybody wants to know about how to get the smell of onions or garlic off your hands, you take a regular stainless steel spoon under cold water and you rub it on your hands and in between your fingers, the whole thing, and it will take the smell away.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Just lemon.
Excuse me?
Oh, I see Mushka's sister.
Mushka, you're going to measure 3 cups.
What happened?
This thing gets stuck.
Maybe you should turn it off. Maybe yes.
Let's do it this way. Mushka, while you're measuring that, I'll get the other latkes out of the pan and turn the other one. See if you can measure 3 cups.
So when I make latkes or potato kugel, I'm not very fond of the large grate like those potatoes. So I grate about 1/3 of the mixture And then I do the rest with the smushing blade together with the onions.
Smushing blade.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I like it smushed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody told me that if you do the onions together with the potatoes, the onions prevent them from going brown.
Okay, now we're going to turn these over. These are burning. Too long. That's what happens when you multitask a little too much.
Do you have a timer?
I do on the oven, but it's too much trouble to go over there.
One of the most useful things my children, when they were little, they bought me as a gift, was one of those portable timers, and I would keep it in my pocket so that if I went into a different room, I would hear it ring. But my children bought it for me for a present.
Okay, the Mexican latkes now. These are the Mexican latkes. Let's see. Which one is the preparation for the Mexican latkes?
Mexican latkes.
We need to wring with a cheesecloth or towel, removing oil moisture.
Wishka, you see your sister jumping up and down? She was before.
Okay, what's next? You measured just enough potatoes? Great. Okay, mixed potatoes, onion. Now, onion. What do we have to do for this one? Onion. 2 tablespoons of onion diced. So we're going to dice the onion. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is take the other latkes that I've kind of burned, and I'm going to put them in the tray here. Turn this off. Follow me with the camera. Is there a way to follow me with the camera? And I'm going to put this in the oven. Okay. Now, this is the final batch. Okay, we have the potatoes. The dice and onion. One second, I'm just going to take a little bit. I don't think I need the whole thing. If you leave this part on and the bottom on, I'm not sure which part it is, you can then use it. If you actually cut an onion open, unless you mix it with something, once it's left overnight, you can't use it.
It's the root that you leave on.
The root you have to leave on? Okay.
Yeah.
Something has to be left on. So I just
the root. It's the root.
Taking off the outer layer. Dice it fine. Dice it very fine. Here with the potatoes. Next. Okay, potatoes, onion, jalapeno. 1 large jalapeno diced. I washed it before. Last week someone criticized me for not washing the peppers. I did wash the peppers before. So one thing I do in advance is I wash the. I don't do a lot of cooking with jalapenos, so I'm not that familiar with jalapenos.
And whatever you do afterwards, do not touch your eyes or your face.
Not much on that. Get this stuff running. Okay. I need to dice this. It's a very dicey undertaking.
Dicey.
Got it.
Oh no. Uh-oh. Whoa. They have face shields for things like this.
What?
They have gas masks and face shields for things like this.
The Corona shield would probably do well too.
Yeah.
Remember that this cooking show is for ordinary people in the regular kitchen without having to buy any special equipment. That's the whole point, one of the points of this cooking show. Okay, dump that in there. Next, jalapeno. What else? Garlic.
Go. Maybe you should wash your hands so you don't touch your face by mistake. My mechateniste ended up in the emergency room because she burned her face from touching a pepper.
Probably not a jalapeno. Probably something stronger than jalapeno. Okay, that's how we peel it. Smash it, get the peel right off, and it's supposed to be mashed. I'm going to cut it very, very thin because I don't like using all that equipment.
So, Leshka, do you like cooking?
Zalman says hello.
I like making real food.
You like making real food?
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to make?
I love making real food.
Do you like to bake or to cook? What did you say? You like to
I like to cook.
cook? So what do you cook? What do you do?
I make oatmeal in the morning. I sometimes put up the rice for mommy. I don't do much of it, but I cook by acid. I once made lunch in one of my cooking videos.
Whole lunch?
So what was it?
It was salad, challah, and eggs.
I put it in the wrong bowl. I put the garlic in the wrong bowl. Okay.
Mhm.
There we go. In there. Okay. Garlic. What's next? Eggs. How many eggs do we need? Want to crack a couple of eggs?
How many?
What are they? 3 eggs.
Someone commented that it looks very spicy.
Very spicy. It's Mexican. Isn't it supposed to be? Yeah, they don't have to be mushed, those eggs. 3 eggs. We got corn. It calls for 2 ears of corn, but I was lazy. Where's my corn?
I need one more egg.
I opened a can of, there it is, right here in front of my eyes. Okay, so I opened a can of corn. I'll put the corn in here. That looks interesting, I must say, very, very interesting. Okay, corn, garlic, 2 tablespoons of flour. We have a tablespoon here somewhere. We used before. Here's a tablespoon. We're checking it for blood. Good. Pour it in. Where's my tablespoon? There we go. There we go. 2 tablespoons of flour. Flour. So we have, let's see, we have everything. We have the potatoes, onion, jalapeno, garlic, eggs, corn, flour, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Salt. And we're going to mix it all together, again, the old-fashioned way.
Wow. That looks good.
It does, and it smells very interesting. It doesn't smell like
Have any of you ever been to Mexico or anywhere around there before?
You asking if anyone's been to Mexico?
Yeah. Yes.
Why?
Not that far away.
I went to Tijuana when I lived in California.
Yeah.
You went to Tijuana. Oy.
And to Cozumel when I went on a cruise ship.
There you go.
Okay.
We got to see the dolphins.
It's so wonderful, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, I spent time in Mexico chasing whales, so.
My grandson was in the SeaWorld thing down in Orlando. He was actually in the show, and he got to pet one of those black whales.
Oh, a killer whale. Yeah.
Yeah, the killer whale. Yep.
It's a toothed whale. Those are toothed whales.
Yeah. He was in the show.
Like dolphins.
When he was young.
Yeah. Well, we chased whales and took specimens of so we could see what they ate, and picked the little mites out of their barnacles. And from the mites, you can also see how healthy they are. So it was fun. We saw a lot of different kinds of whales. Rabbi, those look good.
Rabbi, have you ever had a Mexican latke before?
Have you ever watched Mexican latke? No. So both of these, the classic I've done many, many times, but these other two are absolutely news to me. So I've learned over the years that a latke can be in many different ways.
Yeah.
The main thing is that we were doing it to remember the miracle of the oil, so it doesn't really matter as long as it's something fried in oil. In Israel, we eat chufkaniyot, donuts, which has been actually picked up over here outside of Israel too many times. And now all we're going to do is we're going to wait for all this to cook, and in a couple of minutes we're going to have a plate to show you of 3 different types of latkes. So the ones in the oven will be done in about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, these others are cooking, and they'll be done in a few minutes. And we're going to have all of them together in just about an hour from when we started from scratch.
Yeah. Who's going to taste test?
We have people.
Yeah.
I have people waiting to come and pick it up. I told them 7:45. So.
Wow.
All right. Someone asked me a question. Any questions you've always wanted to ask the rabbi? Ever had a chance? Just between us.
Any question at all? Let's see.
Have you ever been to India?
Ever been to India?
Yeah.
I've never been to India.
Have you heard of the Chabad over there?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been to India.
In Mumbai, right?
I've not been to Mumbai. I've not been to India at all. I've been to a few countries, but never been to India. Okay, let's see how this is going. Let me grab a plate. Okay, we're going to put one of each. This is the classic.
So Mushka, you're going to evaluate them for us, okay? And you're going to say if it's spicy or if it's, what the flavor notes are and things like that.
Do you like spicy food, Mushka?
I can take a little test with a cup of water nearby.
Okay.
You see these cooking?
So Rabbi Lev and I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So other than making latkes, getting the menorah ready, any sort of special preparation that we should do before Hanukkah?
Hi there. Yes. There are several things. First of all, you said getting a menorah ready. I would recommend, besides getting a menorah ready, and ideally, if you can, you should get olive oil. We actually sell little bottles of olive oil in our Judaica store. You get little bottles of olive oil. The best mitzvah is to light the menorah with olive oil. If you can, I also recommend that you get a car menorah. And the car menorahs are available. You put them on top of the cars, and wherever you go, people know it's Hanukkah. The whole point of Hanukkah is to spread the miracle. That's why we light. The original place to light the menorah was outside the front door to spread the miracle. So putting it on your car is a very good idea. But if you want to know where to get one, you can contact me. I'll tell you where to get a menorah for your car. In addition to that is, if you're not getting olive oil, you should get candles that burn long enough so that when you light them, ideally around 5 o'clock at sunset, they'll burn at least half an hour into the night. The short, regular candles are not long enough for that, so you need longer candles. We have longer candles than that. If you're lighting after about 5:20, then the short ones are okay, except for Friday. Friday you need longer ones because you have to light them before Shabbat and have to burn for about an hour and a half. Now, the other thing to do to prepare for Hanukkah is to study the mystical meaning of Hanukkah. What is Hanukkah all about? There's a very deep meaning of Hanukkah. It's much more than just, there was a fight, there was a miracle. It's much, much deeper than that. And here's my shameless plug. Sunday nights, these days at 6:30, we have a Zoom class and we're studying the mystical meaning of Hanukkah. And I promise anybody who attends that class, your Hanukkah will never be the same. Let's check the Latkes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing class.
We'll try to join.
Very, very good. Lots of surprises.
What time was the class again on Sunday?
It's the mystical meaning of Hanukkah.
At what time?
Oh, let's see. Sunday is
6:30.
6:30. There you go.
Okay, so it's 9:30 Eastern, where I am.
Yeah. Who's on the East Coast besides Chaya?
I am Diana Friedman.
Oh, Diana. Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That's me.
Yeah.
I don't like to get dressed this late at night.
Well, you do what most people do. You get dressed from the neck down and just something comfortable on the bottom.
Yeah,
because you're not going to move around.
Well, it's 10:30 already here on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
And where are you, Chaya?
I'm in Morristown in New Jersey. Where are you?
Central, East Brunswick.
Oh, you're kidding. East Brunswick. I grew up in Highland Park.
Who is that?
Linda.
Linda. Wow.
Yeah.
I know who you are now.
Yeah. I grew up in Highland Park.
Wow.
I have friends who live in East Brunswick. What shul do you go to there?
In East Brunswick, I go to Young Israel.
Okay.
Yeah. We used to belong to the Highland Park Temple.
Oh, yeah. That was conservative.
We used to be conservative. I'm Orthodox now.
When I was growing up, I lived 2 blocks from the conservative shul, and then the Orthodox shul was the old shul down in New Brunswick. We could walk over the bridge.
Apologetic.
That's right. And didn't that burn down?
It burned down, but I think they rebuilt it.
Good.
About 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes, and those other latkes will be ready. So now we have. Okay, we have the classic.
Wow.
We have the samosa, which look very interesting, I have to say.
They're probably good.
That's the one with the peas. Look very, very interesting. But now the Mexican looks really good. Actually, it looks to me like the Mexican, if I ate latkes, I probably want to eat the Mexican.
They do look good. Except for that one.
What about the latkes in the oven?
That was the samosa, I think.
Oh, so they're out on a plate already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those look good.
And there we have it. 3 types of latkes. Classic latkes, samosa latkes, and Mexican latkes. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a tiny little taste of the Mexican latkes.
You like spicy food?
I do like spicy food. It's actually very good. And I'm going to stop right there. But that was very good. Okay, Mushka, which one do you want to
Mushka.
Let's get you a fork.
I'll try a little bit of the Mexican, a little bit of this.
The Mexican is pretty hot. The Mexican is pretty hot. So you want to start with one of these? Start with the Mexican. Little piece.
Hey, she's a California girl, you know?
Huh? Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
Good.
How about this one? You want to try this one or this one?
Sure. I'll try this
Try this one.
You're gonna try the samosa one now?
How does that taste? It's a little burn.
Strange a little bit.
Yeah, a little strange. Okay.
It has absolutely no fat in it. There's no fat in the recipe and no fat in the pan.
That's right. And now, the pièce de résistance. How's that?
Good, delicious.
There you go.
Thank you all for joining. We'll see you later in the week for other classes, other things on Thursday at noon this week, Parsha of the week. Friday at noon, the Rebbe's Wisdom on the Parsha. And Sunday, the mystical meaning of Hanukkah, decoding the mystical meaning of Hanukkah. I recommend it. It's a beautiful study of Hanukkah and what it means. And hope to see you all again next Tuesday, with another interesting, I hope, Cooking with Rabbi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rabbi Levin. Take care.
Wonderful week, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks,
Mushka.
Mushka.
That was a good job, Mush.
Thank you, Mushka.
Shalom.
Great helper.